Normally I do not script my videos, but I have written something down just so I don't go into a 50-minute ramble about this. Few disclaimers. Firstly, I will be conflating influencers with celebrities because they have the same level of following, but influencers have a lot more relevance online, and of course everything has been online right now thanks to Miss Rona. They do carry a lot more social capital, but I will still be including celebrities in the discussion because they still have a large platform. Second disclaimer, I'm not saying that influencers should change their entire content, but there should be some acknowledgement of current events that may be affecting parts of their audience or just out of human decency. Third, I will not be showing any brutal footage in this video. I don't want to subject anyone or myself to that any longer. The fourth disclaimer is I was not going to make this video, but then I realized that it would be hypocritical of me to expect influencers to do more with their platforms when I can't even post a simple video on a channel, even if it means just a few people watch it. I will not be naming any influencers or celebrities that I think haven't done enough, just because I would be giving them recognition or light even though they don't deserve that platform, if that makes sense. If you've opened any sort of social media, news outlet or newspapers or Twitter or YouTube, anything, you may know about the protests going on in America that have spread across the world about getting justice for George Floyd and ending police brutality against Black people. This discussion has brought up a lot of things about mass incarceration, racism, or the overall systemic oppression against Black people. In these discussions, I've noticed that it's largely regular, everyday people like you and me who, start movements, who start discussions like online and, say these things, and then they gain traction over time because we can all relate. And when an incident happens, it also happens to, again, a regular person who we can all empathize with and say, this could have been someone I know or a relation of mine, etc. But the people who actually have solid platforms to be able to bring issues like this to light, i.e. influencers, they don't talk about any of this until something major has happened. They then jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, Black Lives Matter, of course. They even pull photo shoots at protests and put black squares on their Instagram accounts. It's all great. It is awfully insensitive regardless of whether you're a fashion influencer, a beauty creator, you still have a large following. Out of human decency, you would think that you would still call out things that maybe aren't right in a particular industry that you're in, or like when something big happens now. Yes, of course. There have been a select few very special influencers who have still chosen to ignore this and everything that's going on and have insensitively continued to push their sales, their discount codes, their videos about not out of context, out of touch with everything that's going on, which I think is extremely insensitive. Now, a lot of people have pointed out that some do this because they're afraid that if they call out racism, if they call out discrimination, then they're going to lose brand sponsorships, to which I say, who are you getting sponsorships from? Are you being sponsored by the Klan? Because that is the only group that I see legitimately pulling support for anyone against racism. But other than that, I don't know who you're working with. Another thing is, sure, you posted a black square on your Instagram, but what does that black square mean? Are you actually doing anything in your life, in your career, in your business decisions that reflects that you believe that Black Lives Matter, that reflects that you believe that people need to worry about climate change, or whatever movement it is that you've posted about? Does it end with you gaining the likes and then moving on with your life, or do you actually put it into practice? Actual action is very necessary. I do thank the people who have the money, who have the platform, who've donated or encouraged other people to make donations to bail funds, to support Black-owned businesses, or people who've donated proceeds from videos. That is really great. That is really commendable. But if your activism, if your support, if your allyship just ends with a hashtag and a black square, then you've essentially done nothing. It may be just the parading of, yeah, here's what I've done, but you've really not done anything. Another thing to point out is this isn't just about George or Brianna. It's happened countless times over history. Over the past 5 years alone, there have been countless social justice movements, climate justice movements, anything you could think of, you know, human rights, so many things that influencers could, you know, every once in a while, you know, bring to the attention of your followers or show that you care instead of only doing it when it's a trend. Because I feel like if these discussions went on at more regular intervals, then it would be easier to keep people engaged and not just the specific people who seek out this information. I don't know, imagine if in the middle of a makeup routine James Charles talked about qualified immunity. That would be something his fans would probably look into, like 1% of them, but that's still a pretty big number. I do recognize the ones that have shown support, that have backed their words with actions. I just want to say that it's not just about celebrities or influencers, but even amongst your friends, if there is a movement that you care about and they show no empathy or interest about it, you know, look at who is willing to have the difficult conversations in your social circle. Racism is systemic, it is internalized sometimes, and people need to have these discussions to learn more. Like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but to who and why? And have your actions reflected that? I guess thank you to all who've been supporting those movements. And I just want to end this video, I guess, by having a moment to think of all the people who won't live to see the change, but whose names will be remembered. But yeah, thank you for watching.